Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So the ultimate showdown for cameras right now in my catalog is the Galaxy Note 10 Plus and the LG G8. Now the G8 is my benchmark device. It's the device that I feel like has some of the best recording capabilities because it has the advantage for the wide angle. Well, now phones today have come up to LG and they say, hey, you're not the only one that can do a wide angle video and make it look good. So in this video, I'm going to compare the two. I'm also going to do portrait video and live focus video, compare those two. And we'll recap at the end of the video. All right, guys, so here they are. I got to give you a disclaimer. A windy day. It's always a beautiful windy day where I live at. So I always tell you guys that. So if you hear a lot of noise being picked up, just know that's a part of the game. So I've got the LG G8 and the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Here are the cameras. This is the rear camera in 4K at 60 frames per second. It's a beautiful day out. Need to do the hedges. All right. So that is 4K at 60 frames per second. Since both of these phones can do 4K at 60 frames per second, I just thought it was important to go ahead and do the video like this because you can look at the color accuracy, the punchiness of the clouds. Through the viewfinder, the LG G8 is pushing up the saturation a little higher than normal, but yeah, this is all in auto mode, 4K 60 frames per second. Now to note, no pun intended, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus can shoot 8 minutes straight through on 4K at 60 frames per second, and the LG G8 can only do 6. And then you'll get a new clip. But this is in fact one of my favorite shooting modes. It always has been, it probably always will be. I really want to get a DSLR or a mirrorless camera that can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, but really I don't have a need to because I have so many phones that can do it. You can see the G8 adjusting for the lighting. Just giving you an extended look here. Now the G8 can actually switch in between modes while recording wide angle. This is actually a wide angle shot. The Note actually can switch as well. So I'm going to switch to a regular view, which you can see there. But the Note has the advantage. Telephoto lens. So let's go back wide. And you can see here the color reproduction. Man, it really looks punchy on the G8. And really punchy on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus as well. But taking a look at the grass, both of these cameras are pretty much getting this grass a little more accurate than I thought they would. But the G8 seems to be producing it a little bit too punchy. Now I've got steady shot on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and the G8 naturally has good stabilization. We'll just walk. Let's switch out on the Note 10 and get it back into view. This is the actual real view of the Note 10. I had it on wide angle though because it just doesn't do good in this with steady shot. It has to do a zoom, and then here's wide angle on the G8. But if I turn off steady shot, then I'll get a much more realistic view on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. But gotta leave it on wide angle for now because steady shot is on. But that gives you some sense of the cameras. Now here is live focus video on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. This gives you some sense of the type of footage you can get. This is the rear camera matching the LG G8's rear camera because the front camera on the G8 does not have portrait video, unlike the rear. And so the Galaxy Note 10 Plus does have the advantage by shooting live focus videos, what they call it, on the front and the rear. Now here is portrait video on the LG G8. You get a sense of what this will look like if you decide to use this type of footage for your YouTube channel. If you're going to do a vlog style, this is the rear camera in portrait video on the LG G8. No filters, no mics, no nothing, just one LED light and tripod. Well, folks, there you have it. That is the LG G8 doing very well against the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Now, to my surprise, I use the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I've been using it to shoot and edit all the videos on the channel since I've had it. The thing about putting it next to the G8 appears to be really punchy at 4K at 60 frames per second. And then at 1080p, I think it's equally matched. I think they both look pretty good. But overall, the Note 10 looks flat next to the G8, to my surprise. The G8, to me, has been my phone that I benchmark every phone against since I've had it just about. And I stand true on that. The Note 10 did not beat up on the G8 like I thought it would. But it's just that the Note 10 does better indoors under artificial lighting, because that footage kind of looks really flat, especially at the 4K at 60 frames per second outdoors. But you've seen me record and shoot with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus indoors, 4K 60 frames per second. Like, pay attention, most of my videos have been 4K 60 frames per second. And like almost 99% of them, 90% of them have been 4K, 95 have been 4K 60 frames per second, and they've come from the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. But outdoors, when comparing it next to the G8, you might want to ask, did you wipe the lens off? It's like, whoa, I checked. I was like, wow, the G8, while it's not totally accurate for the color reproduction and color representation, it still looked better than what the Note 10 Plus did. So, you know, I find it strange that the Note 10 Plus doesn't do very well outside, at least in that setting. Even though I was taking photos, I've done everything with the Note 10 Plus. The G8, to me, it looks better. Now, when it comes to, again, 1080p, I think they're kind of equally matched, and I kind of favor the G8 still. But the Note 10 just, to me, just doesn't do well in that setting outside in bright light like that. It can't, somehow the exposure is all wrong. The ISO is just not doing well. However, indoors, this is a champ. Indoors, the G8 doesn't do very well because I've tried to use it to do YouTube videos in the studio, and it just doesn't do very well. It can't handle the artificial lighting. It's a catch-22. So that video outside, you know, while again it's extremely punchy compared to the Note 10 in some areas, it does look better, and I would prefer it over a flat look any day. So how about that live focus video versus the portrait video? Here's what I noticed about that. The G8 produces the colors very well. It looks great. No, this is not the G8. This is my DSLR with the 24mm lens. The G8 looks much better than the Galaxy Note 10 on the live focus video. Both of them had trouble like blurring around the head. But overall, the color reproduction of the G8, I liked it better. Now, this is all my personal preference. You can disagree if you want to. I respect that. But I think in this situation, in this particular setting, as I just gave it to you, I think the G8 still beat it. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus does have the ultra wide and the telephoto lens, and the G8 doesn't have the telephoto lens, and but it still has a nice ultra wide shot. And in that footage, I just really think the G8 did well. If only the G8, to me, in my opinion, did better in artificial lighting. And trust me, folks, I've tried it. I've got the 100 LEDs set up upstairs. It just doesn't look as good. And plus, you guys have been enjoying all the footage I've given you for the Note 10. But reality is reality. The G8, to me, is still the phone to beat in a really complete phone. And I can't wait to match it up against the new iPhones. So there you have it, folks. G8 versus Galaxy Note 10 Plus video. What do you guys think?